Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Pep Talk Live, where we are celebrating Kwanzaa, day 5. And not only are we doing this across the Pep Talk Live platform, where we're celebrating Kwanzaa with the Global Pep Squad, we're celebrating Kwanzaa with global business builders at Empowering UTV as well, where we have Coach Jeanine, who you have been enjoying all week long as our special guest. And Coach, it's great to have you here one more time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Like I am home. I have two beautiful homes that I can be able to hang out with. So I'm very glad.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Coach Tisha, for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Will you introduce the show to our global audience, please?
Yes. So bonjour, bonsoir. Aujourd'hui, c'est notre 5e jour avec la célébration de Kwanzaa. Nous sommes vraiment dans la joie. Moi et Coach Tisha, aujourd'hui, nous sommes en train encore de célébrer une autre journée encore pour Kwanzaa. Et merci encore d'être avec nous. Il y a plusieurs personnes qui ont commencé avec nous depuis dimanche jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Nous vous remercions vraiment au fond de nos cœurs. Et aujourd'hui, on est là encore pour parler de Kwanzaa et de nos cultures africaines, comment valoriser nos cultures africaines, même dans le business. So, bienvenue, Karibu.
Oh, welcome. And hi there, Dr. Geneva Williams. We're happy to have you
Hello.
here as well. Happy Kwanzaa to you. Well, Coach Janine, we
Yes,
have been building upon a beautiful foundation here in our week long Kwanzaa celebration where we started with unity. You know,
yes,
that's the foundation, and we built upon
it
that
is.
with
Mm-hmm.
self-determination.
Yes.
And I know these banners are going pretty quickly. I'm going to slow them down, and you're going to see all of this throughout the show. We
Yeah.
we went on ahead to collective work and responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday we spoke about my favorite Kwanzaa principle, which is cooperative economics. And today, where are we, Coach?
Oh, today it's another one we are celebrating Nia, which is purpose, and also another word is kusudi. That's another word too for purpose. Yeah, yeah.
In what language?
In Swahili. Uh-huh. So there are some people say Nia, some
Yeah.
people say kusudi. And it both means purpose. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look at this.
Hmm.
Learning things left and right from Coach Jeanine Bunzigiye. We are so glad to have not only crossed paths but decided to do something cooperative together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good to see you here. We're seeing a lot of viewers who have been watching from day one. And Coach, I know you're curious about what they've learned and what they
Yeah.
want to tell us
Absolutely.
about.
So, guys, I just want to welcome you, Karibu, and also thank you. We want to thank you, myself and Coach Tisha, because you guys been here from day one, and we would like to acknowledge you to say thank you for really. I know you're a very busy day, but you really committed yourself to be with us and experience this a moment with us and really participating. So, thank you for being here. So, my question to you guys really, you can be able to share with us some of your own experience with us, how you liking this, what are the lesson have been you guys been really learning, what are some of the takeaway that you guys would love to share with us. We are very curious to know and also to hear about your own experience along with us here.
Yeah, absolutely. So please make sure that you share that information with us in the comments. We want to know how you've grown through this week, what your Kwanzaa celebration has become, if you've celebrated before, if there's a word that resonated with you. And because the word Nia is so popular in
Yes.
the English language, we'd love to know if there's anyone named Nia who's actually watching,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, we love to know.
Yes. So I am going to take a moment to post our thumbnail up here in the upper right corner so people can see the graphic that you created along the way. And Will you fill our global audience in on what we've been discussing so far, please?
Absolutely, Coach Tisha, yes. So, nous voulons aussi remercier tout le monde qui a commencé avec nous deux le premier jour, qu'on a commencé dimanche, avec tous les sept noms de Kwanzaa, et nous voulons célébrer. Donc, merci beaucoup d'être là. Et à ceux qui étaient avec nous depuis le début, donc nous voulons vraiment vous dire merci. Et nous sommes aussi curieux de savoir quelles sont les leçons que vous avez apprises. C'est-à-dire, si vous pouvez partager avec nous, ça pourrait être bien que ça soit même dans le chat, si vous pouvez écrire juste votre expérience avec nous. Si vous avez eu le temps d'apprendre quelque chose par rapport à cette expérience, si vous avez eu le temps à commencer aussi une routine, une tradition aussi dans votre famille ou même dans votre business, commencer à célébrer le 7 noms de Kwanzaa. Il faut nous dire, nous sommes vraiment curieux de savoir notre expérience avec vous. So, n'hésitez pas, écrivez dans le chat et nous serons là pour vous écouter.
Beautiful. Thank you,
Thank
love.
you.
We're here to talk today primarily about making good of our collective vocation for building and developing our communities in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Coach Jeanine, that's
Yeah.
a big order to fill, but that's what purpose is, right?
Yes, yes.
That's what it is. So I wanted to take a moment to talk about some commitments that we can make to our
Mhm.
purpose,
Yes,
beginning with Kwanzaa, but not certainly ending with the
Mhm.
Kwanzaa celebration.
That's right.
So the fifth principle, being Nia or purpose, is really a commitment to the collective vocation of building, developing, and defending our community, our culture, our
Mhm.
history, so that
Yes,
we can regain like this historical initiative in greatness that we know we came from.
that's right. That's right.
Right.
And I
So
have so many things to really share, and that's one of the reasons to. When I was talking about yesterday, I think the coach teacher we were talking about one of the main reason why you started your business. You know, the foundation was really, and why also myself, I was really trying to fill the gap between the United States, you know, business owners and people who are in Africa, really being that liaison, and that was one of the responsibility that I really, in my conscience, I had to take a commitment to say, I'm gonna really apply myself to stay committed to be able to lift up, you know, very positive narrative about bringing us together again, working together, lift one another, and come really and to go back to the root that we already know that the greatest of our culture, our business, our wealth, really, and also building up new legacy of greatness and oneness and umoja. So that was one of the reasons also I started really talking to community leaders, you know, on the ground in Africa, specifically in Congo and other countries, so really making sure that their voice being heard. They're also coming to the table to make a decision and start really talking, not just, you know, to the government entity, but also like those key players. And that's very
mhm,
important for us to give them a room where they can be able to express themselves, really express their concern and how we can make it better together. Because you and I understand very well how when we come together, it's about we. It's not about me. It's not about you. But so that was very important to me to translate that to in a conversation where those key players they will be able to also trust the process and come together with me.
absolutely. Charles is got a great comment here, and I'm going to take time to read it all. He
Mm-hmm.
says that he's celebrated Kwanzaa for years now, and he's tried to host this in Georgia, but didn't have the outcome that he wanted. Maybe there wasn't, a market for it there. But he says this is the first time today, you here on the show, Coach, the first time that he's heard another name for Nia or purpose.
Mm.
And so we are learning. And thank you, Charles, for letting us know
Thank you,
that
Charles.
you are learning from this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're here to do. We're here
Yes,
to share this information. Mary Well says the word that's been standing out to her is the word legacy. And
wonderful.
yeah, and I imagine that's because she's watching this with her son. She
Yes.
has a nephew that is near and dear to her heart, and
Mhm.
she sees them with a future, in this. And I appreciate those who have shared these messages and videos with
Mhm.
the younger people in your family.
Yes.
That's so important. So coach, when I look at the word in the definition for Nia or purpose, when I
Yes.
look at the word vocation,
Mhm.
I think of the word job, right?
Mhm.
And when I see the word job, or at least when I think of the word job, but in front of it is the word collective, I think many hands make light work of this job we're about to do. So
That's
you
right.
know this, right? So you know the saying, you only had one job. You just had one job to
Yeah.
do. Well, folks, by way of Kwanzaa, this is the one job that
Mhm.
that we have got to do together.
Mhm.
And all of these principles, they build on one another. You can't have one working well without the other.
Mhm.
But this is where we have got to have all hands on deck, knowing our purpose, knowing that we come from greatness. Coach Jeanine, nowadays I particularly see this with women. We are very quick to acknowledge one another as queen, right? Hey
Yeah.
queen, how you doing, queen? I
Yeah.
love that, by the way.
Mhm.
And I intend to continue to do that. But when we acknowledge one another as queen, we're acknowledging that we have descended from royalty,
Right.
from a traditional greatness. And
Mhm.
and that's not just talk. That's not just hype to get you motivated for the day. This
Right.
is when we were in our motherland, we were doctors.
Mhm.
We were what they call lawyers nowadays. We were astronomers. We knew how to sail the oceans. This We didn't come here and learn those things. We brought those things here.
Right.
We came from greatness, and this is what we're trying to attain again and ensure that it lasts this time through our legacy and the future. And that's the conversation that I really want people to get serious about having.
Absolutely. And I like that was the way you say this. This is really a collective and making sure that this is one job all of us need to do. It not depend on the government or depend on one person. No, this is something you have to wake up to and accept this responsibility and
Mhm.
making sure that you're bringing them as one because one person cannot do the job. Just look at our hand, one hand cannot function without the other. So it's almost like that really responsibility that you and I really wake up to it. And one day say, you know what? Yeah, it's my responsibility to be able to, as a collective, as a community, to be able to work with one another and be able to bring forward everyone to get
Yeah,
along with us. So that's you have to really be able to accept it and embrace it and really be able to make a decision, a commitment, a daily commitment.
absolutely. Coach, we have a very special guest joining us today, and she is patiently waiting in the green room. I don't want to hold
Sure.
her any longer. I'm going to ask
Yeah.
that you introduce her as I bring her onto the stage.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Who do we have here,
Hello.
Coach?
Hello, Dr. Tammy. Thank you for joining us.
Well, hello,
Girl,
ladies.
I am so glad that she was willing to come on and really share also her experience with us. Dr. Tammy, thank you for accepting the invitation. We're gonna just introduce you very quickly so you can tell us about your experience. We're talking about purpose today in Swahili, which is nia. It's one of the fifth principles, so seven principle. So, Coach Tisha, would you want to say something, and then Dr. Tammy will be able to talk and introduce herself.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dr. Tammy Francis, thank you for joining the entire week-long conversation, for accepting the invitation to be our special guest here.
Yes.
You are on two platforms at one time, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. You are both in the Global Pep Squad and in the Global Business Builders. People are seeing you in a minimum of 55 countries on
Yes.
all, I was going to say all six continents. We know there's a seventh continent. We're trying
Yeah.
to find an audience on Antarctica. Maybe the
Yeah.
global business builders can help us do that. Dr. Tammy Francis, or Dr. Tammy, thank you for being here. Tell us who you are and what you love doing.
Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for having me. This is an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for the invitation. I am Dr. Tammy, success strategist, literacy educator, author, speaker. I help you move in the direction of more and prepare for what's next. And as Coach Jeanine knows, I do that in several ways. And
Yeah.
so I'm sure we'll get to that today because purpose. She knew when to ask me on here because purpose is the foundation to everything that I do, purpose and self awareness. So this is amazing. So thank you, ladies, for having me.
Thank
Mm,
you.
you are very welcome. Coach, before we get too far ahead into the conversation, can you bring our global audience up to speed, please?
Absolument. Merci beaucoup encore de se connecter. Aujourd'hui, nous avons cet honneur d'avoir Dr. Tammy avec nous. Et aujourd'hui, nous allons parler de sept propos. Et le plus important, c'est de parler aujourd'hui de la cinquième note de Umoja. Et surtout, on a commencé par Umoja et puis on va finir par la foi. Donc, le plus important aujourd'hui, c'est on va parler de Dr. Tammy avec Coach Tisha. Ensemble, aujourd'hui, nous allons célébrer et parler surtout de cette responsabilité ensemble. Merci beaucoup de se connecter à nous.
Look, Dr. Tammy, doesn't your name sound better in French? I mean, doesn't it? It doesn't sound better, but doesn't it sound extra beautiful with a French accent on it?
Yes, it does. That's why I have to wave every time she says it. Like, hey.
Yes, yes. Well, ladies, we're here talking about the one job that we must do together as a community. So, Dr. Tammy, tell us why the word purpose is so instrumental and important in what you do to motivate the masses around you and in your community.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that question, y'all. So, for those of you that don't know me, um, I do several things. And what I know about my journey and what I share about my journey is that I really did a traditional track when I decided to choose my college and career avenue. But what as I grew up. I'm still growing up. I'm still tweaking what I like to do and what I want to
Mhm.
do. But as I moved out of college and into a career, what I found is I wasn't serving and doing all I was meant to do.
Mhm.
Like there was so much more to me. We are complex beings, and so a lot of people and the way society have it set up is that you do one thing, you do this one thing, you follow this traditional track, you go whether you do military, college, or do a trade or whatever, but you do that particular track and that's it. But what I found is I'm an educator, so I was a K-12 educator for 10 years. Now I'm in higher ed as a associate professor. But what I found was when I was in K-12 was that I had my 120 students and that was it. And I realized that there was so much more I could do, so much more I could, so many other ways I can impact and impact others. And so I decided I'm going to try these other things. And I did. And I did them like in isolation. I did some PD. I taught Zumba, Pilates, yoga. I did all these things I like to do in isolation for different reasons and different points in my life. But once I decided about 5 years ago to embark on entrepreneurship and really create the life that I wanted, is I realized that, I had to go back to what it is I enjoy doing. My definition of purpose, in addition to what you see on the screen, but when I help clients, my definition of purpose is is really your ability to serve others with passion. And I found that I was doing that, but I wasn't doing that in a way that was impacting all that I all the people I wanted to impact and do all that I wanted to do. And that's when I realized I need to go back to my purpose. What am I passionate about? And I heard so many things about doing that one thing and doing this one thing. And I realized that that didn't fly for me. So I had to always go back to purpose. And so now when I serve others, I really start there. But one thing about purpose, and we're talking about purpose in this collective vocation building and developing our community, is that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create a community around the things that I do. But when I initially started, it was women, Black women. And what I realized is that we're all different. We all have different needs. We all have different
Mhm.
wants. We have different goals. And but I wanted to serve them. And they came to my community and I wanted to serve them, tap into that, and us collectively, just as the definitions say, to pursue that and help them on their journey however we could. And so then I just expanded that. And so I do that. When I realized that we were not all the same, I realized that what I created couldn't be cookie cutter. It had to
Mhm.
be something unique. And so what I decided to do is create an ecosystem as opposed to just one thing. I have an ecosystem of a lot of one things that help you where you are on your journey, because it's meant for you to serve others in a way that you are passionate about, that you enjoy. And in order to do that, you have to know your purpose. What is your purpose? We are all commissioned on this earth to do something. And so what is that one thing? And for me, it's teach. So I told you I'm not in that one thing like I'm just going to do it in K-12, but my thing is to teach. And I do that in several ways. I do that in my business. I do that in my classroom. I do that. So my one thing is to teach. And so what is your purpose? And then how, as we a community, how can we help you on that journey? And so that's what my platform is about. That's what I do. Um, so, and we'll get into more of that, but I'm sorry.
Woo!
All right, back
Don't
Thank
to
you.
don't be
I told you,
sorry.
Coach Tisha. I told you. She's a
Mm,
powerhouse.
powerful. Will you take a moment, Coach Jeanine, to fill in our global audience on what has just been shared before we get too far, past that moment? Let's preserve that momentum. Go for it.
Absolutely, I would love to. So, on est en train de parler avec Dr. Tammy. Elle était en train de partager le plus important dans son parcours quand elle a commencé dans l'entrepreneuriat. Ça fait 5 ans qu'elle a commencé et elle nous a parlé comment est-ce que son parcours était vraiment complexe parce qu'elle a toujours cherché un moment ou bien un endroit là où elle va toujours servir dans la communauté. C'était vraiment important pour elle. Et elle est dans l'éducation. Donc aujourd'hui, elle a commencé d'abord dans les high school et puis maintenant elle est à l'université. Elle est en train de travailler comme un professeur assistant. Mais le plus important, c'est qu'elle a toujours voulu continuer à servir. C'est ça le plus important pour elle. Et dans son parcours en tant qu'entrepreneur, elle a commencé il y a 5 ans. Elle a commencé maintenant, elle a travaillé avec plus des femmes. Mais maintenant, aujourd'hui, elle essaie de travailler avec tout le monde. Et parmi les clients qu'elle travaille avec, le plus important, c'est qu'elle est toujours en train de faire tout, de présenter tous ses services, surtout aux personnes qui sont prêtes pour travailler avec elle et les gens qui sont prêts vraiment à donner le meilleur d'eux-mêmes en tant qu'entrepreneur. Parce qu'il y a beaucoup de programmes que tout le monde est en train de présenter, mais elle a toujours cherché à travailler comment est-ce qu'elle pourra aider les gens à se découvrir. Parce que ça, c'est le plus important. Et aussi d'accomplir ce que tu as appelé à faire dans ce monde. Beaucoup de gens, ils suivent seulement le rythme, ils suivent que je me réveille le matin, je travaille, je donne. Ça, c'est assez, c'est bien. Mais le plus important, surtout, c'est de savoir c'est quoi le propos, c'est quoi la vision que Dieu a mis en toi, que tu es venu accomplir dans ce monde. Alors, pour moi, Dr. Tammy, elle est vraiment en train de nous donner cette réflexion de 5 ans, lorsqu'elle a commencé depuis là jusqu'à aujourd'hui, et enfin de donner le meilleur et surtout d'être utile dans ta communauté. So, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much, Dr. Tammy.
It sounds so much better when you say it.
I love this.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
This is excellent. Um, Coach Jeanine and Dr. Tammy, as I've been listening to the conversation, I am smiling on the outside, but I feel like my heart smiling. And I sense that our viewers and our listeners are having that same experience. And it makes me think of something that my mother gave me about smiling. Can I just take a moment to read that?
Yes.
It says, "A smile costs nothing but gives much. It enriches those who receive without making poorer those who give. It takes but a moment, but the memory of it sometimes lasts forever. None is so rich or mighty that he can get along without it, and none so poor that he can be made rich by it. A smile creates happiness in the home, fosters goodwill in business, and is the countersign of friendship. It brings rest to the weary, cheer to the discouraged, sunshine to the sad, and it is nature's best antidote for trouble. Yet it cannot be bought, begged, borrowed, or stolen, for it is something that is of no value to anyone until it's given away.
Mhm.
Some people are too tired to give you a smile. Give them one of yours, as none needs a smile so much as he who has no more to give. And this commentary about smiling, and where it says it's something that has no value until it's given away. We posted a comment here earlier, Dr. Jeanine, from your platform. It says, "We are heirs and custodians to a great legacy." That's the value we have assigned to our purpose.
Mm.
You know, so I'm encouraged by the conversation, especially when we talk about value. Now, Alexandria Rosa, while you were speaking, Coach Tammy, she says, "You're a teacher helping teachers." And that's what Kwanzaa is. We're teaching.
Mhm.
This is a conversation, this is education here, right? So I'm just moved by the different directions that this conversation can go in. And Dr. Tammy, we're going to come right back around to you, and then I'll ask Coach Jeanine to do some translation. Before she does that, though, will you tell us where you are serving and teaching from? Where are you physically at in the world?
I am in Texas, South Texas, in a little corner of the world on the coast, Corpus Christi, Texas. Most people are like, where is that? And there's some people that actually know that surprised me. But I'm south of Houston, Texas,
Mm.
and but I'm global.
You're global.
But I'm
That's
global.
Yes.
that's it. We are physically based somewhere, but we are virtually everywhere.
Mhm.
And this is a good way for us to stay connected and to put warm hands into other warm hands across all of our communities as we continue to share this conversation about purpose. Coach Janine, will you please bring our global audience up to speed?
Mhm. Yes, nous sommes en train de parler avec Coach Temi et puis Coach Tisha de l'unité et aussi surtout de parler comment est-ce que Dr. Temi, elle est sud du Texas, mais elle est sud, elle est plus à Houston et physiquement, elle est à Houston, mais elle est globale. C'est-à-dire sa mission, son business, c'est vraiment global et elle touche plusieurs pays. Donc, nous sommes vraiment dans la joie d'avoir Dr. Temi avec nous et vraiment sa mission c'est d'être global et de propager et de travailler avec plusieurs personnes qui veulent vraiment avoir des stratégies et comment est-ce qu'elle pourra vraiment travailler avec vous. Donc, n'hésitez pas, connectez-vous. Et c'est ce que Dr. Coach Tisha dit, c'est maintenant le temps de venir vraiment ensemble, de s'unir, de travailler et vraiment d'être là comme des sœurs, parce que c'est ça qu'on est appelé à travailler comme Umoja. Spirit, c'est vraiment cet esprit-là de venir ensemble et de se soutenir et de travailler ensemble pour les business.
And I will say, I saw Charles's comment. He said he knows where Corpus is, and that's because military. Yes, we have a naval
Mm.
base here, so those who are in the Navy tend to know where Corpus is or have been stationed here. So, and it's interesting. Jeanine, Coach Jeanine, is in Texas, but we are like 4 or 5 states away from many of you,
Mhm.
because we're 7 hours away. Like, just if we think about it, just in miles. However, drive time is probably more like 9 hours because of traffic in the
Yeah.
bigger cities you have to get through to get from me to her. So it's interesting how we're still in Texas and we can be that far apart.
Right.
Now, Dr. Tammy, are your I love the idea of ancestry and tracing back our heritage. Is your family from Texas?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. My family's from Texas. So we and I guess That's another thing. You talk about family and ancestry. Is interesting how when I think about my family, because we're so connected to my maternal side, which is typically the case in many cases is maternal side. And so I think about that. But then I had to think about, wait, let me look at my father's side. Like, yeah, we're all from Texas. So, because my mom's side is so huge, and that's where, we hang out a lot. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're all from Texas, different parts of Texas.
Absolutely. No, we have built upon in this week, Coach Jeanine and I have been on a world tour of the
Yes.
first 5 principles of Kwanzaa, and I just want to run them across the screen so that if we have first time viewers that they become familiar.
Mhm.
We first celebrate Umoja or unity.
Mhm.
Then we move into Coach Jeanine. Will you take the Swahili word?
Kujuliwa.
And I say it differently. So I'm going to go with Coach Janine's pronunciation of self determination. And then we have Ujima for collective work
Mhm.
and responsibility,
Yes.
Ujama for cooperative economics. And today we are accepting our assignment
Mhm.
to complete, fulfill our purpose. Now, Coach Janine, there's a contrast here.
Yeah.
If it's our one job as a people to collectively fulfill our purpose to make sure we restore our people to greatness, the opposite of fulfilling our purpose is betraying the purpose. I don't
Yes.
want to be a part of that. I want to be a
Mm-mm.
part of a community that accepts its greatness, that steps into its greatness, that
Yeah.
does that without trying to pull one another down from their
Mhm.
greatness. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I want to be part of the community where I can be able to every single day lift each other up. That should be our number one purpose and only the number one purpose because that's it's all about. And
Yeah.
especially with this rich ritual and value that we carry through Kwanzaa, that's what we do. That's what Dr. Tammy does in our community. She's also part of the Facebook Empowering You Global. She's definitely one of the champion that I'm so much very blessed to have her as a sister too. And Coach Tisha, now that's what we do every single day. We connect, we lift each other up, and so definitely we would like the community to continue to grow in that same spirit because
Yeah.
it's really a responsibility for my sister. Like you guys are calling you guys my sister because I really want to see you. It's a win-win situation. When you guys win, I win, and all together really lift each other up. So we are really continue to bridge and to really build our community, our global builders, and making sure that everybody understand that it's not about it's about us really
Yeah.
coming together. Yes.
Yeah. So Dr. Tammy, if it's our job, our one job to uplift, to carry on this traditional greatness that we have, how do we go about doing that? How do we uplift one another?
That's a loaded question, Coach
Oh,
Tisha. Because I think people like to think about like they usually think about what we talked about a few days ago. Was it yesterday? Now I'm getting my days mixed up. I apologize. When we talked about collective economics, we think about it just buying, but it could also be in how you show up. You know,
Mhm.
I'm an entrepreneur, so
Yeah.
it could also be you sharing something that I
Mhm.
have. You don't have that doesn't cost you anything. It could be you saying my name if you know that they're in a room where you if you trust what I do and you trust my integrity, that
Yes.
you mention my name if you know
Mhm.
that there's something that I can provide that you don't provide and you would recommend me. It's taking time to think about other people and sharing what they do and who they are and how they can serve. We're talking about purpose and we all have a purpose. And so if you know what someone's purpose is and you know they're walking in that purpose and they are good at it, amazing at it, and they could really help someone, mention their name, say their name.
Mhm.
you are
That's a
speaking
good
my
one.
language.
Yes,
Speaking my language.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking my
Buying
language.
product is great, right? So buying
Yeah.
from you. So I do recommend that. Like we talked about that a few days ago, but it's just those little things that count,
Yeah.
right? Or, just calling someone. I shared a post today about thank a black woman who has showed up for you in 2021.
Mhm.
Sometimes that smile that Coach Tisha read the poem about, it could be just reaching out to someone and saying, "You got this. You
Yeah.
got this, girl.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're doing good. You're amazing." Just
Amen.
give them some affirming language. So I'm
Yeah.
really big on affirmation. So affirming language is good too. Like all of that counts in lifting people
Oh,
up.
that's
Where can
and yeah, yeah, go ahead, go, Tisha.
so I have been putting on our Instagram, where you can find us across YouTube. Where can people find you at, Dr. Tammy, on social media?
I'm everywhere.
Everywhere.
And I'm
Give us
everywhere as
that.
Dr. Tammy Francis. So I'm on LinkedIn. You can Dr. Tammy Francis. You can type that in. Um, Whether it's Instagram, Twitter, I'm Dr. Tammy Francis everywhere. Francis with an I, not an E. And you can connect with me on anything, even YouTube. You can come find me. I'm everywhere. Facebook, everywhere.
All right, I'm
And
gonna
of
get
course, drtammyfrancis.com is my
Mhm.
website.
And I'd
that.
like to say, just to add something about really, lift each other up and say, you gaga. I was really looking forward for our because we've been just busy with Dr. Tammy, and she had an event, a virtual this morning, just to be able, to give back because she's all about giving back, guys. So this morning at 11, she had a Zoom where people can just come in and just be able to check in. I was there not just because, of course, I miss her. It's been a while, but I want also to support her and say, let's connect. And we end up really
At the
supporting
best
one
time.
another. And she also said, girl, you got this, you go. So we were just talking about the past 2 years ago, we stopped planning stuff. So today, I just want to confirm she's really supporting every single day. That's what she does. So I really appreciate you, Dr. Tammy.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Queens, this has been an incredible conversation. I want to turn it over to our global community and ask if they have any questions, if they have any information that they'd love to share about how they are contributing to we as a people fulfilling our NIA or our purpose.
Mhm.
We have Dwellin Williams here who is at Kidney Trails, and he says he will be connecting with the both of you, and you're doing a phenomenal job, Queens. Thank you, Dwellin.
Oh, thank you so much, Joelle. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I appreciate the conversation, and I'm hoping that people will tune in for tomorrow again, where we are going to be celebrating the sixth principle of Kwanzaa. If anybody knows what the sixth, I'm not going to say it, Coach Jeanine, but if
Mhm.
anybody knows what the sixth principle of Kwanzaa is, please type it in the comments. We definitely want to know that you are engaged and excited and interested in what comes next. Coach, where are we at? You want to tell our global audience when we're
Yes.
wrapping this up?
And also, don't forget that we mentioned yesterday we're gonna be having a resources the last day. So stay tuned. We're gonna have a directory. We're gonna have a resources where we can be able to stay in touch with everybody and really making sure that we supporting one another because that's it's all about. Absolutely. So, nous sommes presque à la fin de notre émission aujourd'hui avec Coach Tisha et Dr. Tammy. Nous voulons vraiment se connecter encore aujourd'hui et aussi vous demander si vous connaissez le 6e nom que nous sommes en train de célébrer demain pour Kwanzaa, parce qu'il ne faut pas oublier, on a encore 2 jours. Donc, demain, ça sera le 6e jour. Et le dernier jour, on aura aussi des ressources qu'on va partager avec vous. Comme ça, vous allez continuer aussi à grandir, vous allez continuer à apprendre par rapport à cette célébration parce que ça ne s'arrête pas le 7e jour, mais nous voulons que vous puissiez continuer cela avec vos familles et puis aussi dans vos communautés, aussi dans votre business. So, stay tuned en tout cas pour les ressources que nous allons donner le dernier jour.
Wonderful. Well, from Pep Talk Live and from Coach Janine's platform, what's the name of your platform, Queen?
Empowering You TV.
Yes, we thank you for celebrating Kwanzaa with our special guest, Dr. Tammy Francis. And us will do this again tomorrow, Lord willing.
Yes.
And I am excited. I'm excited for tomorrow. I don't want to blow past it, but I am super excited for I'm super excited for our seventh principle because I know some
Yes.
great things are coming to the community. And Dr. Tammy, if you have anything that you'd like to offer by way of resources that you want the people to know about, please let Coach Jeanine know so we can share that. Okay.
I will. Thank you so much, ladies, for having me.
It's
Thank you,
been
Dr.
so.
Tammy.
All right, y'all. I have a question real quick. Coach Janine and I have been playing some traditional African drumming to start the show.
Hmm.
We cannot tell if you can hear it. Have you been able to hear the drums that we start the show and end the show with? If you can hear that, tell us
Hmm.
yes or no in the comments. It's about 25 seconds of drumming,
Hmm.
and we want you to experience in its fullness. And that's what we're going to go ahead and conclude with, and hopefully you're getting a great taste of that along the way. So ladies, I am going to remind oh good, you can hear it, excellent.
Oh,
I'm going
awesome.
to
Great.
remind the group that this is what's happening.
Mhm.
Mary Wells asked earlier, Coach Janine, could we have like continuous conversations? And that's something that Coach Janine and I are working to bring
Yes.
to our audiences,
Hmm.
more regular conversations like this. I'm actually looking for the quote that that came from. Here it is. Mary Wells said, "Can this be an ongoing collective conversation?" And the answer is yes.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. We're
The answer is
definitely talking about that. For January, every single month, we're gonna be coming global, both platform together. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Mary.
yes, yes, yes. All right, I am going to line up these drum beats as we say farewell and thank you all. God bless you. Be encouraged, and we'll be back again tomorrow, Lord willing.
Thank, thank you.